might have doubted me. It's round 2. Now, I may have to put you down as I go into the park because I'm not exactly sure whether you're allowed to film in the park. Some let you do, some let you don't. So if I do, I'll swivel it around and you can see me. Alright, so let's see. Off to that side, you're looking at the Ernest Co. Visitor Center. Ernest F. Co. Visitor Center. It's also the park headquarters. I'm coming right up on that. Look at your right. It's exactly what it is, isn't it? Oh, it's so cool. All right. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to let you see the park front, and then it's going to go a little dark for a minute, and then it'll come back. So, like I said, I will double check the rules as I come in. So you're going to just, the camera is going to disappear for a minute, and then you're just going to hear my voice, okay? So hang tight. Alright, camera's going down. Hey! I'm good. Oh, let me get over that lump then. Where you go. My name is Carl. I work at Flamingo. I'm the naturalist over there. Thank you, ma'am. That sign says what you think. It just says Flamingo 38 miles. Technically only 37 for me. So this is the entrance of Everglades National Park. You can see those big clouds. It was raining. This is Sawgrass, both sides of us. Okay? So that Sawgrass is an extremely important part of what's going on. And what you have to do is, I'll take the camera around for you. That sawgrass is massively important because it helps to keep the water clean, okay? Absolutely critically important. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you probably as far as Long Pine Key, okay? That's probably the first entrance. Pineland, Long Pine Key, and then maybe over, if we can get close enough to it without using up all the memory on the phone, maybe the Ahinga Trail. We're not going to go down any of the trails today. I'm just going to let you know where we are. I'll get Sedge Bridge, which we're going over now. A couple of signboards over there. I have stopped and read them. That's how I learned that the sawgrass acts as a filter as well. Another tiny bridge over the slough. We're going really quick. It says Royal Palm turnoff in a quarter mile. Now it says right there Royal Palm to the left, a Hinga Trail, and Gumbo Limbo Trail. The Hinga is one of my favorite. It has a little boardwalk type structure on it. It's really cool. And you guys can see from those clouds in the back, it's raining over to the right and probably to the left. I just ran through a rainstorm getting here. Somebody's following me, which is a little uncommon. Now they're turning off. Okay, they must be a ranger. Yeah, they're turning around. That's a little weird, but alright, hey man. Whatever floats your boat. Yep, they're going back the other way. Alright. So let's see. So you can see these really big trees, and the cypress trees and the palm trees you saw before. I hate to say it, I can't take you all 37 miles. It all looks the same. Okay, until you hit a certain point called Christian Point, it all looks like this. Big trees, little trees, a lot of grass. It's beautiful. It's absolutely magnificent. Now, because of the rain, I'm not sure if we're going to be able to see any wildlife, because I don't see any right now. Because of the rain, the birds probably took off. I don't even see an ibis anywhere right now. Uh-oh, traffic. You're not going to be sure how many cars I'm going to see, but maybe 4. Although it's getting late in the day, so it's pop up. Here we go. Prove me a liar. People are leaving some of the areas to hike, and it's a Thursday, and they're also leaving Flamingo. So most of these people have gone out to go fishing or hiking. This guy's coming at us, definitely fishing. All right, coming up, I'll read you the sign because we're going by it at about 50 miles an hour. This is Long Pine Key, and it says Flamingo, 34 miles. This is just that proof of concept video in case somebody goes, nah, this guy doesn't live out in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, he does. All right, so you're looking at the cypress trees, you're looking at the pine trees, you're looking at the cabbage palms. Who's coming up? We got a truck. Let's see what that truck says. Might say nothing. Now he's hauling junk. He probably came from where I was, because if he's hauling metal and junk, they're doing some work on the housing that's past us, not NPS, National Park Service housing, but they're working on some of the places where people can stay, and they are replacing things like water heaters and things like that. So that's probably a truck that was coming over past the National Park Service, past the visitor center, near our eco tents. Okay? Because remember, where I am, there's where I live, and then there is 2 other places. There is the campground. The National Park Service Visitor Center is over there. Eventually there'll be a lodge and like a hotel over there and a restaurant. Okay? And they're rebuilding it all, because one of the things you guys get to do with me, which I think is the coolest, right, Queso? This year is the 75th anniversary of Everglades National Park. I'm going to be here during its birthday. Another boat. There we go. If I can do it, I'll definitely film during that. If I'm not working, which I probably will be, I will Probably walk around with a camera and just start interviewing people if they'll let me. Hey, what's going on? Check it out. What do you think? And yeah, this is what I'm going to do for the next 40 minutes to an hour. Okay, coming up next is a sign. It's going to be on the left. It's going to say Pineland. It's a hiking trail. And beneath it, it says Flamingo, 32 miles. That's the cutoff back to come out of Pineland over there. Look at the traffic jam, everybody. This is our 7th set of cars. Look at this. And you can look up in the sky. I'll try to tip the camera up in a minute so you can see how black the clouds are getting in front of me. Ain't that cool? And there's nobody behind me. Nobody. Because it's late in the day and it's really hot. Most people are heading out, not in. I can see that it rained here, right? And so I know that we're probably going to get more rain. It rained last night. The good news is that we haven't had a whole lot of rain. It's not that we have a drought. It's just it's supposed to rain every day, and it's maybe rained every third day or so. Now the bad news is that means that hurricane season may have been pushed back a little. It also means that when I have to tie up, when I go back to reconnect, it's going to be heavy mosquitoes like it was this morning. They're going to be all over my arms and everything else. I might have to spray myself down before I go out to hook up. Because the one thing that's in every single cup holder, mine's in the back in the cup holder, every single cup holder in a car in southern Florida is Deep Woods Off. Alright, more sedge grass, more cypress, both sides on this time, but we're not at the Dork Forest. That's my sign. It says dip. Hang on. Everybody does the exact same thing around here. When they go over that little dip in the road, we all just take our foot off the pedal and just coast over it. Signboard coming up on the right. That one, I believe, particularly talks about the water flow, the hydrogeology here. Okay, that's where the water is going above and below ground because it's kind of marshy over here, and that's because the water is actually moving south. Okay, it's supposed to come out of the Kissimmee River, go to Lake Okeechobee, and this is the fresh water, and then it goes to the Taylor Slough and the Shark River Slough. And then all that water goes above and below the ground, and it ends up at the mouth of the Whitewater Bay. There it gets cleaned, and it heads off to the Biscayne Aquifer. That's how Miami gets their fresh water. Another fun fact, the springs coming out of Georgia, Alabama, all those, greatest number of underground springs in the world that completely feed the Kissimmee River above and below the ground, mainly below the ground, to get Lake Okeechobee to be as big as it is. Another signboard here. That's the Sawgrass Prairie signboard, because that's where you are right now. because like I said, it's just going to be a road and this for 30 miles. What I'll probably do is stop the video in a little bit. Okay, once we get to the next place, the next stop, which if I remember correctly is where we were filming when you came in. That would be Mahogany Hammock. Oh yeah, it's hot. It is in Texas hot, but it's hot. Hey, Queso, what's the temperature? What, like 92? And 65% humidity? Up in the sky. You might be able to see them. A couple of vultures up there. They're doing their thing. Great egret off to the side of the road. I couldn't get his picture because I just saw him pop his head up. Sorry. Alright, that looks like it's probably the FedEx delivery truck that comes around every day. And it is. There's another great egret. This is Rock Reef Pass, elevation 4 feet. So now you're coming back the way you came in. Look real close. Great egret. There he is. I got you one. Alright, this turnoff coming up on the right, okay, this really isn't much of anything. It just kind of is a boardwalk end of it, kind of past where the, not where the Ahanga is, but a boardwalk that goes over and around into the water and just looks around again. It's basically, I believe, built for FIU, okay, for doing water monitoring and sampling here in the Everglades. Because they have to test the water all the time around here. They're testing for salinity, they're testing for pollution runoff, they're testing for fertilizer runoff, and they're doing all that because in some places, you know, because all the plantations will be using really nasty bad fertilizer, especially a little bit further to, you know, toward the Keys where it's all sugar beets. Some of the stuff they use will actually cloud the water. That's a raven. And then you get phytoplankton blooms and all that stuff, and it's bad news, and then there's no fish. Now this sign says road work ahead. You came through this with me earlier today, but there is no road work going on. I think they just forgot to take the signs down. Next stop to your left, it's going to say Pakioki, Flamingo, 26 miles. There's the road, guys. So you've been traveling with me for, I don't know how many minutes, over 15, and we are still 26 miles away from the point where I can turn in and turn off and get back to where I am. So this is one of the higher spots in the Everglades. That's where you see all those dwarf cypress trees around you. Again, it's Rock Reef Pass, so it's about 3.5 feet above sea level. Wow, this is our 11th car, man. Traffic jam. So while we're getting to the next spot, I'll let you know, today was a successful day, okay? I had to wait, let's see, I got to my appointment, it was at 12:15, I think I got there at 11:45, okay? Something like that. And I waited outside, it was warm, Queso and I hung out, then we waited some more, then there was more waiting. Then I had to stand online to get a ticket. So even though I had an appointment and a confirmation number, I still had to get a ticket. And they were telling everybody that if you were a walk-in, to go away and come back at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. Walk-ins are only taken from 7 to 9. apparently they had a problem. Okay, this sign says dwarf cypress forest, elevation 4 feet. However, as I was saying, it was successful. It took me about, let's see, I got the DMV at, I think it was 11:30 or 11:40, and I think I left there at about 2. That sounds about right. However, I now have my Florida driver's license. My insurance is in Florida. Registration, no. Title, no. I was going to go another 6 or 7 miles through town to get where I was going to go. They said it's a walk-in, but it was late in the day, and I figured not going to do it. So next week when I'm off, on a Monday or so, I will take that specific trip to town, and they will process the transfer of my title. They will process the plates. They will process the vehicle registration, and I'll walk out of there, and then there's nothing else to do. I will be a citizen of the state of Florida at that point. So everything will match up. I'll take today as a really good success. And now you're back and seeing the palm trees all along the road there. Those cabbage palms that cut down. That turn off to your left is a culvert. Okay, if you go down there, it's a little hard to get there. It's a little muddy, but you can take an RV back there, and there is a little pond back there. But from what I'm told by some of the people that go there, it's amazing fishing, and the fish come right up to the edge of the bank. Queso is currently sleeping. Once I get to the next turn in, turn off thing, I will then just cut the video, and we'll try again a little bit tomorrow. But I just wanted to give you guys a real taste so you could see where I am and what it takes for me to get in and out of here to buy groceries. Okay? I think that the next one coming up is in about a mile or two. It'll probably be mahogany hammock, because you can't see it, but I can see it. I see a lot of big trees in the background. You might be able to see them up front. Signboard for a while. Once you got past the one about the hydrogeologics, there's really not anything else. There's a couple of pull-offs. Really, I mean, if you get broken down out here, forget it, man. You call AAA if you have service. You're going to be waiting a while. Okay, so you got to take care of, make sure you have a jack or a spare tire, anything else you need out here. Here's one of the turn-offs right here. You can just pull off. Take a look at that. Not much to see, but it's a pull-off. It's actually what they call a brake. Okay, that brake gives you a place to pull off, take pictures, get a bottle of water, whatever you want to do. They usually have them in the more picturesque, like I can speak today, picturesque parts, so that you can stop and just take a lot of photos. There's usually more birds around. Like there's another great egret, but it's a little muddy here because it rained. I know it rained. The road is dry because it dries in like 8 seconds, but I can see the water outside. You know, outside the dwarf cypress and everything else. It's just kind of pooled up a little bit. So it gave itself a little fun today. So we're back where we started earlier today with these cypress trees. So we're about halfway there. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, hey guys, thank you so much for coming with us. I'll pan the camera over so you can see it again. Hang on. I said I was going to take you as far as Mahogany Hammock, and we're there, and it says Flamingo 18 miles. Catch you on the next video, guys. Thanks for taking a ride with me.